This is a WTVD 11 News special report.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Larry Stogner. I have a tragic story, one that's very difficult to tell you about. Two WTVD 11 News employees and our pilot were killed early this morning in a helicopter crash. The chopper crashed shortly before 1 in a field near US 401 in Wake County. The crew from a high school football game in Wilmington when the aircraft went down between Raleigh and Fuquay Varina. Investigators from the Federal Aviation Administration are focusing on possible mechanical problems. Killed in the crash were photographer 28-year-old Bart Smith. He had been with the station since 1997. Engineer Rick Sherrill also died. He was 33 years old and worked for WTVD since 1984. Helicopter pilot Jim Lane was also killed. He was an experienced and careful pilot who flew for WTVD hundreds of times. Jim needs to be married, and so was Rick Sherrill. WTVD sports director Tony Debo was also in the helicopter. He was thrown from the chopper and was able to run to look for help. He is hospitalized at Wake Medical Center. His injuries are not life-threatening. Our prayers and thoughts are with friends and family and coworkers. We'll continue to keep you updated on this crash, and we'll be back at noon with any additional information that we can bring to you.
This is a WTVD 11 News special report.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Larry Stogner, updating a story that many of you may have already heard about. A terrible helicopter crash has taken the lives of 3 members of the WTVD 11 News team. The chopper was on its way back from Wilmington early this morning after a late night of covering football semifinals. Witnesses tell us the rotor blade simply stopped and that the chopper crashed just outside a wooded area of southern Wake County near Fuquay Varina. WTVD's pilot Jim Lane, engineer Rick Sherrill, and photographer Bart Smith were killed instantly. Chopper Jim, as we called him, flew hundreds of times for WTVD. He flew helicopters in the military, was experienced and widely respected as a careful pilot. He was 48 years old. Rick Sherrill, who was 33, had been an engineer with WTVD since '84 and was a vital part of bringing you stories from all over the state and the country. 28-year-old Bart Smith, who was originally from Tennessee, had been covering news for us for the past 4 years, working out of our Raleigh bureau, and always was the first to volunteer aerial photos of Friday night football. We are devastated by the loss of our colleagues. Our sports director, Tony Debo, was also on board, but was thrown from the chopper and miraculously survived. He was with the crew yesterday during this live on our newscast of the football game. Tony's injuries are not life-threatening. We spoke with him at Wake Medical Center this morning. He is all right. He told us that a problem suddenly developed and a warning signal came on indicating the engine had shut down. He told us Jim was trying to steer clear of dense woods and was able to make it to a clearing. After Tony was thrown, he was able to make it to a nearby house and call for help. We have received many calls this morning from our viewers, and your sympathy is greatly appreciated. We will continue to follow this painful story throughout the day.
This is a WTVD 11 News special report.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Miriam Thomas. A horrible tragedy early this morning has taken the lives of WTVD 11 News employees. Shortly after last midnight, the WTVD 11 News chopper crashed with 4 of our colleagues aboard. The helicopter was returning from Wilmington at the time, where the crew had been covering a high school football semifinal game. It happened here in a wooded area of southern Wake County, northeast of Fuquay Varina and just south of Willow Springs. Our 3 co-workers who were killed were WTVD's helicopter pilot Jim Lane, engineer Rick Sherrill, and news photographer Bart Smith. Jim, whom we all knew as Chopper Jim, had been flying with WTVD for more than 4 years, and he had flown hundreds of times for the news team. Prior to that, he had a long career piloting helicopters in the U.S. military, and he was known for his experience and for his caution at the helm. Jim Lane was 48 years old. Our engineer, Rick Sherrill, had been with the news team since 1984 and served a vital role in helping us cover stories across the heart of Carolina, the country as well. He was 33 years old. And photographer Bart Smith came to us from Tennessee. He had covered news for our team since 1987. Bart was based in our Raleigh News Bureau and was always first to volunteer to skylights for our sports team. That's what they were doing last night. Bart was 28 years old. You should know that Tony Debo, our sports director, was also on board last night, and he was the only survivor of the crash. Some miracle. Tony was thrown from the helicopter as it went down, with him still strapped to his seat. He managed to walk through the dense woods to find help. Tony is still hospitalized at this hour, but we've talked with him and he's okay. His injuries are not life-threatening. Tony tells us about what happened as the crash occurred, that a warning signal came on before the crash and then the engine shut down. Chopper Jim was able to steer the helicopter away from the trees and into a field where it crashed. As for exactly why, well, that is still very much in question. Investigators from the National Transportation Safety Board and the FAA are now at the scene. As you might well expect, we here at WTVD 11 are absolutely devastated and heartbroken over the loss of our colleagues and our friends. They were all talented, valuable members of our team, and we can't tell you how much they're going to be missed. We've also received hundreds of telephone calls from you, and we want you to know your sympathy is greatly appreciated. We will, of course, continue to follow this story, and we'll have a complete report tonight on WTVD 11 News at 6.